In the time before the release of Anthology, early Beatles recordings were a bit hard to come by. They existed, but were typically only on bootlegs, and could usually only be found in specialty record shops or via tape trading. Hamburg, the Cavern Club, the Ed Sullivan Performance, they were all floating around out there, but you were never sure of the quality, and for some, the novelty was short-lived. What I loved about Anthology was that it not only provided better versions of these recordings, but also the context. When you watch the series, and then you hear the music, you get an idea of where they were when they recorded. The first one I ever owned was Part 1, and hearing those very early recordings humanized the group so much for me. It put into perspective that everybody has to start out small. The one that stands out the most to me is In Spite of All the Danger, as the Quarrymen, in 1958. It's credited to George and Paul. Paul gave George credit for his solo on the track. John took the lead vocals of it. Paul wrote it as heavily influenced by the work of Elvis. On the 12th of July, the band went into the small home recording shop to put 2 songs on a 78 disc. Paul said, "I remember we all went down on the bus with our instruments, amps, and guitars, and the drummer went separately. We waited in the little waiting room outside while somebody else made their demo, and then it was our turn. We just went in the room, hardly saw the fella because he was next door in a little control booth. Okay, what are you going to do? We ran through it very quickly, quarter of an hour, and it was over." In addition to this song, they also recorded a cover of Buddy Holly's That'll Be the Day. Featured on the track are Colin Hanton on drums and John Duff Lowe on piano. They only got 1 disc made, so they shared it between themselves for a week each. Duff was the last one to get it, and he held on to that disc for almost 23 years. He had the item appraised by an auction house, which made the news, and when Paul heard about it, he began negotiations to buy the disc back directly. It's unclear what he paid, but it is known that the initial offer of $5,000 was rejected. Paul then took the disc and had copies made for his friends and family. He also had it digitally cleaned up and archived, which is what we hear on Anthology. Paul will occasionally perform the track live. That moment when Duff realized what he had was probably a shock to him, and he could have very easily hidden the track away. Thankfully, that wasn't the case, and we got to hear it. It's nothing spectacular in a musical sense, but to know it's a Quarrymen recording, a starting point of one of the greatest bands of all time, is nothing short of amazing. What do you think about this song? Let me know in the comments below. The content on this channel is made possible from viewers like you. Help the channel grow by supporting me on Ko-fi, which you can find a link to below. You can also help by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.